presentation on the state of affairs of WestfordCAT. And then we'll get back to the socializing and the drinking and the eating and all of that good stuff. And this is intended to be a participatory discussion as well. So there are times that when you might have a question during Lauren's presentation. Again, don't be shy about asking what's going on. This has been a very terrific year for WestfordCAT in a variety of ways that you're going to hear in Lauren's report, a summary of operations. But again, thank you to you all who really make WestfordCAT what it is. Without the members and without the producers and without our volunteers, we wouldn't be able to put on the terrific programming that we do, and we wouldn't be able to make the impact that we do in the community. And as I said, it's been a challenging year, and next year might be even more challenging because we don't necessarily know which direction our funding is going. Our funding could be totally upside down by a new rule implementation from the FCC, or we could continue to see, as we have been seeing, with the cord cutting that's going on in the cable world, continuing in the diminishment of our funding. So those are going to be ongoing challenges that we're going to have to address. But we are very pleased with where we have been and where we're going, because we continue to grow in the diversification of our programming, which again you'll hear some stats about in just a little bit. And again, we're also pleased with the growth of our own board. And so we're going to have a vote in a minute for the growth of our board again. But you may know someone, or you may be someone who is interested in serving on the WestfordCAT board. And if you are, or know someone who is, you can voluntold them. You have to reach out to me and to Nancy Burns and let us know of your interest or of this other person's interest that you are nominating, and we will take it from there and try to get them onto the board. And so again, the folks who have served with us in the last year, we had last year Nina Carini, who stepped down from the board, Paul Playa, who stepped down from the board, and of course our beloved Ira Katz that stepped down from the board. This year's board will all be asking for your vote and support for renewal. So that's the direction of things there. Let me again thank you, and I'll call up Lauren as we move through the next piece. We have Lauren Horton is the executive director of WestfordCAT. We have two quick pieces, though, as she prepares for her presentation. One is I need a motion and a second to approve the minutes, which y'all haven't seen. We have no minutes for you to approve. So basically, what I need somebody to do is motion that the board be authorized to review and approve them at our next board meeting. Can I have a motion for that?
I make a motion that the board review and approve
the minutes of the 2018 meeting.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, that sounds pretty unanimous. So thank you for that. We have another to-do in front of us. And then I think that the situation that let me explain, we have a authority to have up to 11 officers of the board. And again, that's back to the point that I was making just a minute ago. We currently have 9. Avery Adam is here in the room. Her husband Warren Adam is also a board member, and Tom Clay is a board member. They're all nominated up by Neshoba Tech, by the Board of Selectmen, and by the school committee. The other 6 members, who are members of the board, are listed in front of you. I don't think that we need to expand the number of board members. You could authorize the growth of the board members. But I think that right now we have 9. We have authorization to have 11. I would think that the way to go would be to fill the board with the authorized positions. If somebody that's here wants to authorize us to have more board members, you may do so now. Again, my thought is, let's fill up the board with the authorization that we have. And that's why I ask you help us find another 2 people in the community that would be well representative. So I turn to you. If someone wants to make a motion for additional people, then we'll entertain that. Otherwise, we will move on. All right, so let's move on. We have the election of the officers. They are Betsy Alvarez, Nancy Bush. That's my wife. That's an old joke inside the Bush family, I have to tell you. Nancy Burns and I go way back.
His wife and I look so much alike.
Dan Bush, Christina Sacco, Tracy Tebow, and Chun-Hee Jung. So if someone would like to make a motion to approve those board members, we'll do that, and then...
So moved.
So moved. Second?
Second.
All right, and all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. So that concludes our entire board meeting, and now we'll have a presentation from Lauren.
Oh, thank you, Dan. So I'm here to thank you all for coming. I do have a mic on, whether or not it's in 12, I believe. Okay. So I wanted to give you a summary of all the good things that we did for the last year. The first being that if you came in early, you got a chance to experience our new upgrade to our front area with new edit systems. We've got 2 Mac edit systems and 2 PC edit systems. So they're and also we added some VR equipment that has been quite the hit in everything that we've done. Just having people come in after the studio, it lets them unwind by trying the equipment and seeing what it's like to be in virtual reality. We got the equipment because we felt like this is sort of coming in the future, that you can record in 360. We've done some 360 video. If you have a chance to go onto our YouTube channel, there are like 3 or 4 videos there in 360 that you can watch either on your computer by moving around, or of course putting a headset on and clicking on YouTube VR, and you search for WestfordCAT and you'll see our videos. Same thing goes for, if we talk about the fact that not everybody's has channels, has a Comcast or Verizon cable service anymore, so they're watching things on their computer. If the people that are more savvy can actually go on their smart TVs now and boot up YouTube, and again, look for the WestfordCAT channel and watch all our videos from there. That is what we're finding. A lot of people are doing now. They're cutting their cable, and they're watching things online. They're becoming streamers. So if you can get my first slide up there, I'd appreciate it. There we go. To give you a summary, yes, we've updated the room. Our programming has been pretty steady. We've gotten, and also the engagement, we've gotten a new 39 new members this year. So Sarah's done a fabulous job of getting the word out and getting people to come into the station and sign up and be a member. We've done over 200 studio productions, which is kind of amazing. A lot of PSAs. If you notice in our annual report, we have about the same number of bulletin board slides that we put up between programming, but in addition to that, we've done a lot of PSAs for different organizations, for different like for the recycle program. Some of them are informational, but some of them were for candidates. So that has gone way up, and people are starting to think, if I can do a little video, it tells a lot more than just a slide. So we're, open for that, and hopeful that other organizations come on board with that. Additionally, let's see, you have to go back? Yeah, okay. So our online presence has really grown. A lot of it has to do with the WestfordCAT news. We've gotten over, a 20% rise in the subscriber base for WestfordCAT news. And if you haven't added your name to the list, I would ask you to do that. All you have to do is click on the top of a WestfordCAT news article, and you'll see subscribe, and that brings you Westford news every day in your email. You can click on it. You don't have to click on it. Look at the headlines. Something catches your eye. It's just that good of a service. So I would expect you should do that. Let's see. So as I mentioned, we look at our numbers and we're seeing that there's been such a rise in online viewing, especially on YouTube. It's gone up 60%. So that kind of gives us the sort of notion that people are cutting their cable. They are watching online. We still want to, of course, support the community. But that leaves us with a challenge. As you may know, we are paid by the cable companies to be here, and it's a percentage of the cable portion of your cable bill. So if you're getting a triple play, you're getting internet and cable and phone, they give us a 5% of the revenue that they charge you for TV only. And that is an exchange. It's an agreement that they have with the town in exchange for using our poles and our public rights of way to lay the cable out to bring you your service. They give back to the town in that way so that we can have a free speech venue for you to learn how to do programming and to produce it and share information with the people in town. If you can go to the next slide. So, as I say, here's our funding challenge at this point. One of the things that Comcast did last year is reduce the percentage of TV that's in your bundle, if you are still getting a bundle service, so that TV is less, and they give us less. And they never told us about it, so it was kind of a surprise where you budget for something and then all of a sudden you're at 6.5% lower than you had expected, when generally we expect to go up. Every year before this, we've always gone up in our franchise payments. So that's been tough. There's also this FCC ruling that you may have heard about, which is sort of trying to chip away at the rest of the money that we get from Comcast in paying for things like maybe the internet that they give us for or maybe even the cableways. They really haven't defined what is part of an in-kind contribution, so it's still being negotiated, and they're still accepting input from people. And for everyone who has responded to our request to send a letter to the FCC or send a letter to your representatives, I'm saying send a letter to your Comcast and Verizon as well, to tell them that this resource you have in town is really important and you want it to continue and it needs to be funded. That being said, we really, what we saw in your books is that the funding at the end of the year was 9% down. So our net assets are almost 10% down from what they were last year. So that's ringing a bell for us to say, what can we do to fix this so that we can we can stay here. On the other side of that, Mass Access, which is an organization that every access center in Massachusetts belongs to, is sort of a little bit progressive in putting together some legislation or a bill to change the funding of public access. It's kind of under the radar right now because we're still putting it together. But hopefully, we have changed in the way we deliver services. So hopefully, instead of a lot of people are not on cable anymore, but and that's how we're defined. So hopefully they will look at this and say, yes, we can, we can support this. We'll bring it to the House. We'll have a vote, and maybe our worries will be over. But right now we are a little worried because as I look at my budget, it's still going down, and so I'm faced with a number of challenges. Can I have a next slide? We have to reduce our budget. I've talked to the board, and they said, look, it looks like we've looked at the half of the year. The expenses are larger than we thought. The revenue is a little bit better than we thought we were going to be thanks to Sarah going out and pushing for membership and getting some donations through a Crowdwise campaign, which basically paid for itself, but at least it broadened some awareness. But we have to look at, if we're going to live in a balanced arena here, what do we do? Do we reduce our staff or our services? And if we do, what services go? I love my team. And we're busy all the time. I'd hate to see any of us go, and I'd hate to see the services that we give the town go. But we're under contract to record government meetings, and only 3 of them: Planning Board, Selectmen, and the School Committee. And we do a lot more than that. We record last year over 126 meetings. That we may need to cut back on that, which would be a real disservice. The other thing we could do, maybe, if we kept the team, together, do we reduce our salaries? Do we get rid of some benefits? And that's on the short term because that's only for this year. So what happens for next year? So another way of looking at it is what can we do on a funding funding perspective to increase the funding a little bit as we try to ride this out. We've done some membership campaigns. We've done some business membership campaigns. We're about to embark on an underwriting campaign, and that's kind of what I'd like to talk more about. So it is an opportunity for us when we talk to businesses about becoming to underwrite our programming. A lot of them are like, well, what's in it for me? So if you can get to the next slide. One more slide. Yeah. One thing we could do is partner with some businesses that we have one underwriter, and we help them make a program, and that underwriting level is at $2,500. It's Circle Health, so we try to give them a lot more visibility in what we're doing here. But we'd like to really raise that program up for other businesses, because basically if we got 10 businesses to become underwriters of our programs, we could balance our budget for the year. So when you're thinking about an underwriter and the type of programmings that they want, that's one of the things I'm giving an example for a political program. Who would like to sponsor a political program? A program where you have sort of talking about an issue with, it's called, we could call it something like Common Ground, where you have progressive debaters and conservative debaters talking about an issue. And those, I'm envisioning this program in a way that it would be, you need to pick people on your panel that are interested in like finding common ground, like, you know, how do we resolve these issues that we're so far apart with in this day and age in politics. So who would be interested in doing that? Well, you know, the League of Women Voters definitely would like to be involved. We're thinking we could approach the Republican Town Committee on this, and also Indivisible Westford, and have that sort of balance. Then pick out some issues that we can discuss and start the program. Who would be interested in sponsoring that? Maybe you know, the Lowell Sun, or maybe a media outlet. But here I am trying to, like, what do you think? You know, I mean, I need help brainstorming the sort of the types of programs that people would, we could get businesses interested in supporting. And it may be that some, you know, an underwriter would just want to support our government meetings and be, you know, be part, you know, as we do each government meeting, you know, the following is supported by these wonderful organizations that keep us going. You know, so we can certainly do that, but I'm hoping that we can identify some bigger businesses that can say, okay, and maybe, you know, can we do a program like this? And if they told us that, I'd like to be able to go to our membership and say, you know, we need a camera person on this day. Are you interested in this subject? Do you want to work with us on producing this program? And it's, I can promise you that it's a fun experience to work with a group of people on one project, and just, you know, be done with it. Know that you're, you know, you can go out and do the camera work. Somebody else is going to grab it and edit it, and of course we will oversee everything. So that's kind of where I'm, you know, I mean, that's the from our perspective, that's the most safest way of us to get extra funding and to get some businesses involved is to go after underwriting, unless you have some other suggestions. And I'd be really willing and happy to hear them.
What about just what you said to us? Do it at the town meeting, with more people around. I mean, like something like that.
Uh-huh. We could do that.
Not only here, because here is not that many people.
Uh-huh.
If it's a town meeting, it's much more people.
Sure, sure.
I mean, like another chance.
Uh-huh. No, I mean, it looks like we're going to have that opportunity, because I just got a notice in my email from the Massachusetts Access Group that come July 1st, our funding has to come through the town. So I am going to have to be on the agenda for town meeting and ask them for the money that we receive. Right now it's coming to us, but somehow it's going to be approved in the town meeting. So it is an opportunity to get in front of everybody and show them what we're doing and ask them to support us. So thank you, yeah. And so, I don't know, so are there businesses, contacts that you have that are in that sort of, you know, opportunity to help WestfordCAT as an underwriter and get the exposure? And the exposure is pretty big. I mean, it's, you know, we will put them on our channels, we'll feature them on our website, we will produce video for them as they ask with this, you know, as a program. I've looked into doing production services, which is, you know, taking our focus away from servicing the town in order to build money to keep us going. And what I'm finding out is that if we do that, we're going to have to pay taxes on that. So, you know, we will only get, like, you know, 80% of what we raise, and then we're going to have to start paying taxes on those extra things.
To clarify, you're saying that you would take it out of the public realm but into the private realm? Is that what you're saying?
Yes,
Yes.
yeah. So when we're not busy.
So now it's nonprofit, but then if you did it that way, it would be taxed.
It would be a for-profit, you know, adventure, yeah, yeah. And of course, that takes away from our focus here. So I don't want to do that. I'd much rather find, I mean, this is a pretty big town with good, good businesses and good, good people to support us. So.
And it would be headquartered in Westford, the businesses that you're looking for?
Not, well, I mean, not necessarily, but there's a lot of businesses that are in Westford have the bigger organization that can help us as well.
But since you were looking for money from business, wouldn't this be a service for a business that they wouldn't mind paying for?
True,
Yeah.
yes.
So,
Well,
you
just
subtract the taxes, but then you still, hopefully make something out of it.
Right.
And the businesses are willing to pay for it,
Mm-hmm.
potentially.
And in that particular case, like again, everything we do for a production services realm takes us away from doing a community service role.
And the three main ones I wrote down was school committee, selectmen, and what was the other one that you're obligated?
Planning board.
Planning board.
Yep. So those are the three meetings that we are obligated to cover.
Mm-hmm.
We do Conservation Commission, the Zoning Board, Board of Health, oh my goodness, well, all the town meetings, and whatever meetings that come up that they want us to cover. I mean, we're pretty responsive to, the dangerous dog, meetings, or the permanent town buildings when necessary. So that, we're it's a strategic planning meeting. So we do it because it's the right thing to do. But if I'm looking at my resources and I'm saying I have to balance my budget, where do I go? Where do I cut? That's that is an area.
Have you given any thought to offering, for lack of a better description, an educational series where you go to the Westford business owners and have them fund education that you post? And so, for example, you go to Mike Spanos, who owns Westford Florist. Mike does a video of him showing how to create a flower arrangement.
Mm-hmm.
You post that on WestfordCAT. General community benefits by coming to it, learning to it, but then it also drives business to Mike. Do the same thing for Cataldo on landscaping, same thing for the area restaurants, same thing for other types of businesses in Westford. They all have an education offering to offer the community, but in turn it also drives business back to them.
Yeah.
Yes, but who pays for it?
Yeah, would they pay for that?
So
It's a question.
that's where we're looking for underwriters. I mean, would they be interested? I mean, because really, we can ask Nancy. She had, when you get a professional video done, it's like $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, $9,000, $10,000, as compared to a $2,500 underwriter that arrangement where we come out and do this. So that's the difference. Would they be willing to be an underwriter, and we would come in and do this informational program on their business services and why, how they fit into the community. We can do a lot without being commercial. That helps an underwriter get their message out.
I just put it out there in the spirit of brainstorming.
Yeah, thank you.
What does underwriter mean? Sorry.
So underwriter is like to pay, to give the station money, like $2,500 a year, and get acknowledged on our channel and after our programs, whatever they're supporting. If they want us to do a program, if they have an idea, it's like, yeah, I'll be your underwriter, but say a hospital, but I really want to do a program. I want to have a program about, health services and I don't know how to, immunizations, like what the pluses and minuses of why do we want to get immunizations, or whatever it is,
And you said it costs $9,000, but then you get $25,000.
No. I'm saying if you went to to a video production house that you wanted a video done from, that's kind of what you're going to pay compared to coming to us, underwriting our programming, and in exchange we provide a video for you.
Based on what the previous gentleman was saying, have you ever thought about a show or something like that, Healthy Eats, You can go to Whole Foods, Market Basket, your local restaurants.
That's a great,
Produce.
yeah.
Even in the summertime, you have the farmer's market to help produce that along that way, to drive your revenues that way. And specialize, even on your show, if you had a show going, take one thing from Whole Foods, say, why is Whole Foods good? Certain foods, specials they may offer, market baskets, get them involved and say, be kind of creative about they're doing something special for a meal.
Mm-hmm.
Kids, obesity, along that lines right there. Your local restaurants, British Beer Works very generous usually to the town of Westford.
Yeah.
Maybe they have something special. Say, hey, just like the Phantom Gourmet does, which goes around all the different towns around Westford. Something like special
So,
like that.
and that's exactly what I'm looking
I actually
for.
do a show like that. I mean,
But-
back of the house goes
and-
in and does.
right.
I mean, unfortunately, I don't really get a lot of time to do it, but I go into a restaurant and have the chef prepare a meal, and Nick and I'll go in and grab a camera, and I edit it together, and it's how does Rangoli Grill, make a dish. And I would love to be able to try to get them to.
So if we had, and at the same time, if it's like Patty's one person and she's doing a lot of things for us at the same time. So if we, then could pull from our membership base, it's like, can you come down and do the camera with us? Or we've got the footage, now we need someone to help us edit it because we have all this stuff and we'd like to be able to do it. So it's kind of getting our membership involved in the process, but having great idea. Erin?
So as a local healthcare organization who needs visibility because people fly right by us, we offer educational events on a monthly basis.
Erica works for Bridges by Epic, by the way, just so
Yes.
everyone knows.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So, when you're talking about this, and we we devote a lot of money to advertising, but visibility is big for us.
Mm-hmm.
We do educational offerings anyway, in-house, once a month. Wouldn't it be great to have it professionally
Recorded,
recorded and offer it to folks who are homebound or who are caregivers in the home? And in order
Perfect.
to get that service, we underwrite for your program.
Exactly.
And then in return, all of our wonderful programs are recorded, and we now reach hundreds of folks rather than the 7 that are sitting in on my education.
Exactly.
So, I think it gives us, I can't speak for my company, but, I see the potential here for
Right.
a great opportunity.
That's
for us.
exactly what we're looking at doing, and that is an easy thing because you've got the content, you're doing the event. We mic you, we bring the camera out, and it's recorded.
Yeah, and you get the benefit of the underwriting, and we get the benefit of reaching hundreds more people than we would have.
Right. And they get the great information that you're doing.
Great, yeah.
So that's what I'm looking at. So
Like my daughter, they have fundraisers twice a year, and they always invite somebody who records that, and then they just do the list who wants the copy of that, and they pay
Right.
like $20.
Yeah.
And then they know how many to do, like you do for the Westwood Academy, yeah?
Right. And I have to
Something
say,
like that can be done.
yes.
Or even some party, I don't know, who knows? Some
Yeah,
party.
but again, I mean, that's, the party part is more of like a diversion of what we do normally. If we can do,
Oh, it
so
becomes-
what Erica was talking about, this is part of our mission almost, to educate people about, the issues that you're presenting. It's a community service. And it just so happens that they, that's their business, and if we join forces, then they can help us while we help them. That's what I'm looking at, more of those. Yes.
I
Lynn.
know you had the Westford Academy senior graduation, and I know you were selling the CDs or DVDs. How is that a profitable thing, or?
This year it may be. It was always a struggle. We got a lot of orders. We figured out how to get people to pay online, which is before it was a struggle. We'd have to either get checks written or it was kind of hard for to get paid for it. But this year they sent out the link, and we've gotten a lot of orders from it. Steve is just finishing up now. I think we got. At this point, 40 or 50 orders for DVDs, and once they go out, I mean, we've never had that many at this stage, so, you know, it could very well be that that will be a good fundraiser. And so we might make, you know, a couple $1,000s from it, you know, I'm hoping.
Lauren, I have a question and
Yeah.
also a comment. Podcasting is very hot
Yes.
right now.
Yes.
Have you ever considered branching out into podcasting?
Mm-hmm. We had, our original plan last year was to fix this room and put all the equipment here so we could go and get a room in the back for podcasting.
That
you know,
seems
and
to
just
be, maybe it would be easier to engineer, maybe.
Well,
I don't know.
it's because of the expense that was involved in putting up the walls and the soundproofing or whatever. That became a back burner until we can sort of raise. But you bring up a good point. You know, somebody could come in and we could set them up in an area that's quiet enough to do some podcasting. And a lot of people want to do video podcasting. You know, like, so they want to be recorded while they're doing their podcast. So. Yeah, it's just. I think we have to just sort of get it together and. With the resources that we have today, can we balance the budget for this year? And
the second thing is, I'm sure that there's an organization with other local television channels, and they're all having the same problem,
yes.
right?
Yeah. We're always getting together, and we have a monthly conference call.
Okay.
We've hired a lawyer to propose this new legislation for alternate funding. And it's really based on more like how people watch our video now online.
Because maybe a program on that
Yes.
would make people more aware.
Yeah.
I mean, people are slightly aware, but I don't know, as if sometimes people are not really aware of what is actually going to happen. You know, they know, oh, there's problems, but you know.
So let me ask you real quick. Like, if I had to get rid of something, what would you suggest I get rid of?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
No, I was always thinking not what get rid of. I have one more idea how to get money. I'm from Russia, so
Can you stand up? I guess
we
there.
had every.
She in the back is trying
I can't. You know the lights. I'm sorry, Monica.
We
Just-
always had in the city every Saturday a concert. It's like people send a note to the studio saying like, my grandmother has a birthday, and say something about her, and her favorite song is this. And the studio will do a little concert, like 20 probably different songs, and people pay for that. Like not
like
much.
close for birthday.
Yeah, I talk about that with Steve, and he said that copyright may be issue.
To record it?
Like to make that scene if you're using like a Sinatra, Frank Sinatra song,
Okay.
it may copyright issue. But I was thinking if figure out how much will it cost to get that song, and maybe make double price for that.
So do we have to put that on TV?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like every Saturday.
Well, maybe if we
That
did
time
put it on
people
TV.
know whoever, like one of my friend congratulate with graduation from the Westford Academy. And there's a couple words like several sentences, not much there, and then the favorite song or maybe whatever. I don't
We
know.
can flesh that out.
I
But
mean,
yeah.
I think it makes sense because people want to like not only inside the family celebrate, but why not all the town know?
Right.
and the most important is the song, definitely. It's not like the person who likes this song and it's just about her or him, and she just likes it. And it shouldn't be that expensive. I mean, how much will be copyright cost? Huh? And you do more, and then if it goes like if you have like 10 songs a concert, like we call them concerts, like, and it will every week it will bring some money.
Okay.
I think.
Okay. We can see if that works.
Westford has grown a lot over the years. There are a lot of businesses out here. Who knows about WestfordCAT? Not a lot of people. I own a business. I mean, I found you guys the first maybe 3-4 years ago, and I wrote a check. I'm a small business. But what about if you make like a portfolio and go to all the businesses, introduce yourself to them and say, we're here to offer you our services.
Yes.
We're known for.
I think maybe if we develop a hit list, because Sarah does do that.
Yeah.
It's just that a lot of times what happens is she'll put out the information. She goes to the she's president of the Westford Business Association. She meets a lot of businesses that way. She's part of the Rotary. The Rotary is a lot of businesses as well. But you know, maybe you're right. Maybe we need to like expand a little bit more and make a sort of a hit list of what are the most likely businesses to approach that would listen to our story.
Everyone wants to be known. Everyone wants to be seen. Mostly the smaller businesses. They might be able to write a check or two. It's like, you know what? Maybe I can do this. You know, to sell them and their faces will be known. Is it a 501c3?
Yes, we are. Yeah.
That's big because every year they're looking for money to give out. So who would I give it to?
Yes. Yeah. So I think, Monica, well, you know, I love these. Yes, we should. If you have an idea of where we should be going, let's work with Sarah and get that list together. And yeah, we'll have a little presentation that goes out, go out to them. Anything else? So I don't want to, end with doom and gloom. I love what we're doing. We're doing great things. Watch our programming. It's just, it grows and grows every year. It gets better every year. The newer volunteers and members that are here have done a phenomenal job of adding new programs, including, Bridges, who came last year, and they've done like 9 episodes already, and they're really, really informative stuff.
And we get recognized in the community.
Yes.
Thank you.
So, and Chuck had some great ideas for a club, sportsman's club, to sort of, so I know you all have ideas. We can't talk about them all tonight, but please call back and, just say, I was thinking about this. What about these, these particular organizations or businesses? What if, they seem to need more visibility? How can you approach them and work together? So, thank you for your input. And at this point, maybe we should get into a few awards to our wonderful volunteers, if that makes time. So, what I want to do is call up one of our ambitious producers, Betsy Alvarez, who is been winning the award for best producer of the year. She has she's worked really hard. Here you go.
Thank you, Lauren.
Her program is New Beginnings, and it's a very heartwarming program about people who are, starting from nothing, having all kinds of challenges, and ending up in a much better place, and telling their story and inspiring other people to do that as well. So if you haven't seen it, please please watch. There are a few of them that are done in bilingual, Spanish and English, and it's really been wonderful to have her. She's on the board now. She's really gotten involved, and we love what you're doing, so thank you.
Thank you.
Sure.
I just want to encourage everyone to continue watching WestfordCAT. I forgot I'm not mic'd, I'm sorry. Just wanted to thank everyone. Lauren and the staff here are wonderful. I said this last year, I came in as a volunteer, I got involved, and it really has changed my life being here. And we're reaching out to the community. This is the show that I do is really not about me. It's about the community, it's for the community, and we're reaching a lot of people beyond Westford. We're on YouTube, and I came from having 300 people to now like 2,300 people on my social media, 500 on Instagram, due to this show, due to the channel. So thank you so much. Watch New Beginnings.
Thank you. Let's see. The next person is Erica, and I don't know if Sarah's here as well, from Bridges by Epic. They are our, we want to thank them. They are our wonderful business organization. They came last year, was it?
Yep.
And just really just started how can we work together? How can we do this? And came up with a really wonderful program. And has been supporting us through other ways as well, with food and whatever we ask for.
We'll try to do better though.
Well, we appreciate it. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
There you go.
Tonight and the crudité.
Yes, we're always good for food, so we'll try to do even more next year.
So maybe you can tell them about your experience here.
Yes, thank you so much. So Sarah Turcotte and Sarah couldn't be here tonight, but we connected with Sarah, so thank you, Sarah. And we've had just a wonderful experience here in Westford. We are at Bridges by Epic in Westford, which is an assisted living for people with Alzheimer's disease. And we got connected here, and we have a show called Bridges to Community, which I joke is the most boring show on television, but it's not. It's very informative. We had never done a show before, so we did a lot of head bobbing at first. And we're getting better, so thank you to Steve and his crew. But we're having a wonderful time. We get recognized now around Westford, which feels great. And we're learning a lot, and we're connecting with folks in the community. If you have something to share with the community and would like to be on our show, it's directed mostly at seniors. But if you think you have something that they would enjoy speaking about, you can connect to us through Sarah, and we'd love to have you on the show. So a great big thank you to you all here at Westford, because we have had a great time with the show, and we love being part of this community. So thank you. This is very appreciated.
Okay. And our last award is for Brian Cousins, and Ryan has been with us since just about this time last year.
Yeah, end of April last year. Yep.
Yeah, and he comes. First he was coming every Monday through Friday. Now he's coming 3 days a week. He has learned so much in being here. This is what the essence of volunteering is all about, is building your skills. He is very comfortable with the editing systems now. We give him a lot of our programming that we can't get to, so it can come out faster, and we work with him if he has any questions. But he's right now putting together the strategic planning meeting that we all got together and shot. So Ryan, we appreciate all that you've done. He's going off to college in the fall, and hopefully we will continue to see you a little bit.
Oh yeah, I'll
but do you have anything to say?
I don't know. Lost the words, actually.
Actually, tell people about your experience here.
So I've been here about a year. Started last April, and I've become very good with video editing and everything, and I love editing very much. It's just what I love to do the most out of everything. And acting, yeah, I had some acting experience there. I did some videos for the Board of Health. Yeah, Board of Health, where I dressed up as an old lady, and then I played I played myself, and then I was talking to. It's hard to explain. You just have to see it. But I was playing both the characters, talking to myself. So, yeah. So it takes good editing skills to edit something like that. So I'm happy I got to do that. And I went into Neshoba Tech, so I did it in high school too. So.
What are you doing for school? What are you studying, Ryan?
Oh, same thing like I'm doing here, doing the editing and the filming and everything. So eventually, I'm starting with classes, but eventually.
Remember the little people.
Yes, exactly. So, yeah, so it'll be good.
Great.
So I look forward to it. All right.
All right, and so that's for your wall, and this is for your desk. Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you.
So the last, I do have some appreciation plaques that I want to give to our wonderful news anchors. So if I can have actually Nancy Burns, Chuck and Chris Steinhauser, and I do still want to, there's two people that aren't here. Here. So this is for you guys.
Thank you.
You have, I know you have one wall, so this is for Nancy. And I do want to acknowledge that Tracy Chibro, who could not be here today, has also helped with the news, and Christina Lieberg, who is the assistant librarian at the J.V. Fletcher Library, sort of had a trip this morning, I guess yesterday, and hurt her ankle, so she wasn't able to come today either. But all of you have really helped us tremendously in coming at our beck and call to do the anchoring of the news, and that news effort is a lot. We start by brainstorming the issues and putting Joyce will put the script together. They come in on Tuesday or Wednesday, and then say the script, and then Patty puts together all the pieces so that it's out on Thursday. If you haven't watched WestfordCAT News, don't tell me, because I expect that you have. But thank you all.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so do we want to call you back up, Dan?
So, gotta get a little bit of sound on me this time. All right, so we have on our agenda a few minutes more for open discussion to solicit your input. I would again thank you for your participation tonight and for your support of the work of WestfordCAT in the community. The team does a tremendous job of soliciting folks and trying to get programming forward, but they don't pretend to know everything. None of us pretend to know everything. The board is very supportive of the team, but really it's Lauren that's really driving it. And so I would ask you to join me in a round of applause for Lauren. Right? And we could not do this without her. But let me open the floor real quick. So we had a little bit of brainstorming session. If somebody has a thought as to how we can improve service, how we can improve service outreach, how we can improve our diversity efforts, I would open the floor to anybody that has any thoughts on any of those subjects or something else. Yes.
Quick question.
Please.
When's your fiscal year?
We're June to July, so we just moved over.
Okay.
Yep.
No.
We're-
Fiscal year?
Probably the way around. July. Okay.
Yep.
June 30th is the end of the year for you.
Right.
Okay.
I noticed you said going forward, you're thinking about a podcast room. Have you ever reached out to WestfordCAT to actually do the construction for you?
We have a couple of different construction projects that are going on, and we have a great relationship with Neshoba Tech that we've discussed actually kind of pushing forward an on-site presence with them as well. I don't know that will happen, but
right. And the reason I asked about the podcast is just going to work one morning. I heard about places up in the North Shore that actually rent out their space for people who do weekly podcasts. And like one person comes in and does a reading for the blind. Right then, she does a weekly podcast right there. So maybe in town, that's one of the things you might build on right there. That you have a service like that to offer out. Here's a space you offer out basic service that they can do it themselves. Maybe offer out some editing if they need a more technical support along that lines for your staff.
Yeah, and my understanding is you are developing somebody that is a very capable staff person himself. And again, that's how we really multiply ourselves, is finding folks in the community that are interested in helping to get the word out. I mean, public, educational, government. There are many, many ways for us to facilitate that discussion. And again, I can't say it enough. Lauren can't say it enough. You are a part of that. We can't be everywhere. We can't do everything. There are limited resources that we have. We want to make sure that Westford continues to be a thriving community. And we don't know what the landscape of community access television is going to be, but we're going to adapt, and we're going to continue to provide tremendous programming, and again, you are part of that. Everybody that's in this room and everybody that's listening to this this transmission, and we thank you for your input. What else?
One more thing, too, that people might not realize. Ira left last year because he moved to way up in New Hampshire. And of course, he can't commute back to New Hampshire, be eligible to be in the board anymore. So Dan stepped up to be our president at a very tenuous time. So I think he really deserves a special prize.
Thank you for that.
As a volunteer.
But, you know, I think the point was made earlier, and I'll make it in a different way. You know, we have a very broad viewership. Nina's show has got worldwide exposure. We don't know really where everybody is coming from that is going to appreciate the shows that we're putting on. But whether it's Ukraine or Russia or over in Chelmsford, people are coming, and we've had thousands and thousands of people who have come to read the news articles that we've posted up. But we haven't made the step of putting a paywall up. We're not sure that we want to do that, but we want to provide the service of delivering the news to the town. And that's, again, where we need your help, is to try to figure out how that we can build the relationship with the community so that they value what it is that we're trying to put forward.
Just another thing.
Yes.
Special projects, like expanding on the house. What about a GoFundMe fundraiser?
Yes, so we did the Crowd Rise fundraiser, which helped, that paid for itself, as was already mentioned, and it really got the word out in the community insofar as people didn't really know the array of services that we're providing, nor the challenges that we're up against. And the Crowd Rise effort did bring in volunteers. It brought in people who became producers. It even brought in a show. So there are many things that, you know, just getting the word out in the community about what it is that you're doing and offering people an opportunity to help is tremendous. And so, again, that's what we're trying to do in so many ways, to say, please join us, please help us, please value your community, and when you are thinking about those things, what can you provide in that mosaic of what is Westford? So, you know, in that regard, helping people to know what the resources here, that they could come in and they could create a show, as you have heard a couple times tonight, that could create from scratch and be supported by the team that is here. That's a pretty tremendous asset. And we hope that the FCC rule doesn't upend that, but we don't know here tonight what is going to happen. So again, be creative with us. Yes, please.
Well, I'd like to link articles and information from your website to other people that I know. And I was wondering, do you have a count for like the newsletter? How many newsletter readers you have? I think it's a really good newsletter. And then the members that have actually paid every year. Are you willing to share that with the group?
I think, yeah. I mean, in the annual report, you'll see the number of subscribers for WestfordCAT News. The new members, but we haven't tallied up all the the paid members is sort of like the ones that produce shows have paid. There's also there's also memberships of just viewers, and just coming to do our to come to some of our events, and they're it's very simple, $25. I think if everybody gave $10 in town, we would be fine. It's just getting everybody to mines won't it doesn't mine doesn't matter if I give them $10, but it's something, and yeah, it will matter for us. At this point, I'd really like to have our staff come up, put it on a wide shot, and have the rest of our staff, the cricket, including the cricket guy, come up.
I don't see any other.
Okay. So Sarah and Patty. And Joyce. Joyce left. I'll be Joyce. No. if you can, I mean, these guys are what make it happen. You know, we are a team. We cannot work alone. I want us to continue. We all are, you know, a specific peg that keeps this station going. So thank you all so much, and thank you for coming, and a nice round of applause for our staff. And you guys too, and you know, let's make go.
More food and there's wine and more stuff. Enjoy.
Feeling brave, I got hot sauce.
You're on.
Thanks for being here tonight.
That's it. That's a wrap. Thank you again.
Thank you so much.
Well done.